Welcome back to the Unbounded Artistry podcast. This week, we got a great show lined up for you. We got Tealfish Studios' first full-time employee. We have $44 billion to kill a bird. Reaction content. That seems to be a hot topic lately.
Yes.
The discontinuation of Adobe Creative Cloud synced files. And Stitcher is shutting down.
Or it's already shut down.
I mean, probably already shut down. But roll that intro.
Rolling. All right. Well, where should we start?
Well, I guess the big topic is the first full-time employee for Tealfish Studio.
It's me.
Rosemary. Hype?
I mean, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
I feel unprepared. So, unexpectedly, I have become Tealfish Studios' first full-time employee because I was laid off.
Yeah.
I was one of the casualties of a massive layoff from my previous employer. I can't say it was unexpected because this is the second time I've been laid off by the same company. I was actually in the first round of layoffs. My old position was the first time they had laid people off. During the first layoff, I was completely devastated because I had never been laid off before. I didn't know what to expect. But it was very different than this time around because they had me continue working even though I was laid off. I had to continue working for, I think it was 3 months, 2 or 3 months. And they basically said, as of this date, your job is gone. You have to keep working, and they outsourced my position, so I had to get everything ready for the people that were going to be taking my job, which was devastating in itself. During that time, I was applying to other positions within the company, and luckily I landed one, which was the position that I just got let go from. There's been multiple layoffs in between of other groups within the organization. There's been layoffs everywhere. It's not just my company. It's every company right now, really. After the first layoff, I was in hyper awareness mode that my job could be gone at any moment. So I did my best to prepare just in case something was to happen. I had my resume always updated, my portfolio updated to the best that I could. I think this time around, I was definitely more prepared, even though I'm very disappointed. I loved my job. As stressful as it was, I loved what I was doing. I loved my team. For anybody that doesn't know, I was a multimedia designer and I did e-learning content as well. So I would make a lot of like the internal training videos, and I also did a lot of things for our communications team. So any articles that they did, and then things for social media, anything that went external on social media, I did as well. So I was kind of devastated that I lost that position because it was kind of a dream job aside from like what I do for Tealfish Studio. The thing that's kind of funny is that me and Brandon had talked many times about what happens if one of us just stops working and just focuses full time on Tealfish Studio. Because a lot of the things that I was doing for my company were things that I could be spending time doing for Tealfish Studio.
Yeah.
For us. So a lot of the things that I was really proud of, nobody sees except for like internal people. And I don't know. It was just kind of a feeling of I'm putting in so much work and so much effort and things that I'm really proud of, but it's for a company that I just work for and get a paycheck from. It's not something that I'm pouring my heart and soul into, like for our own business and for what we're doing or trying to do. And then both of us are so tired by the time we get home that there's not a lot of energy left for us to put in that same level of passion and dedication to our own stuff. Like, our things suffer because of how much work I'm putting in for this other company. So it's kind of, I don't know what to feel about it. It's just very odd. It's an opportunity to focus now fully on Tealfish Studio for the time being. That's kind of what we've been deciding to do. I spent the first day I was in complete denial, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So the first time I got laid off, this was all when we were remote because it was during the pandemic. The first time I got laid off, it was told to me during a PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint basically told me that I was laid off, and I'm like, did I just get laid off?
That's horrible.
And I remember messaging my teammates, and I'm like, guys, I'm pretty sure we just got laid off. And they're like, no, that's not what that meant. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is. And it was. And I remember calling Brandon over because I had my camera off, and I was like, I'm getting laid off right now. What's going on? And funny enough, I was home. It wasn't one of my office days when this layoff happened. And I knew before it even happened because my director sent me a message in WebEx and was like, I need you to hop on this call. And I'm like, oh, here it is. For some reason, I just knew that's what it was. I was not surprised. I didn't turn my camera on, and I muted myself, and I called Brandon. I'm like, Brandon, I'm getting laid off again. So it's kind of funny that my husband got to be there for both times that I was laid off.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't think a lot of people have that thing that they can be like, yeah, I was there for both times.
Yeah.
It's just really surreal.
It's very odd. And I was mad. I was disappointed because we had just done I don't know if people do this in every company, but we have to do these personal assessments, your PA reviews. And I had just gotten mine back, and I was one of the top performers, if not the top performer in my department. And I'm always a top performer because I'm a weird type A personality and overachiever, and I burn myself out so that I can be like the best of the best. And even if I'm the top performer, I'm laid off. And I'm like, it doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how much dedication you put in. It doesn't matter the quality of what you put in. At the end of the day, you're just a number on a spreadsheet, and your job could be gone at the drop of a dime. So yes, you want to put in the effort. Yes, you want to try to achieve your goals, and you want to work hard for whatever company you're working for. But at the same time, you always want to have a backup plan. That's kind of how I've been brought up. So I feel that's a good thing, even though it makes me stressed out all the time, and it's not great for my mental health a lot of the times. It does prepare me for situations like this. Because you know me, like every time anything happens, I'm like, we need a plan.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking way too far ahead, and I'm like, you don't understand. This could happen, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. So like when those things happen, like this, I'm ready. So the first day though, I was comforting my director, which was kind of weird because you could tell she was like crying. She was like tearful when she was telling me, and I didn't know at the time, but it was one after another, after another, after another. It was multiple people. It was basically my entire department was gone. And the first thing I said was, I know it's not your fault. Like, I appreciated working with you and all this other stuff. And like, she was tearful, and I'm like, it's not your fault. Like, I don't want you. I know this is really hard for you. You're like in the middle of all of this. And I was like, I was in the middle of finishing this project. Like, can I at least send you the files? Because because I was working on like a big project for the company. I don't know what happened to that at this point, but I kind of warned my team, and I was like, hey guys, just got laid off. Here are the working files. It was really great working with you. Please send me your contact information before all of my access is shut off. So it was very strange, and it didn't really fully hit me, I don't think, that day. I was definitely more well-adjusted because I had, in my brain, already prepared for this day. Because the team that I was on, it was still my team that I had originally got this job for, but we had already been transitioned to we were our mini team inside of a bigger team. So I was in the multimedia team, and then there was like a larger e-learning team, and we got grouped in with them when, in between me getting laid off and me getting laid off the second time, in between there, my old director and my old, whoever's above a director, like the president, vice president, something, whatever, both got laid off, and then they did a bunch of changes in our department, and they were like putting us in different places. So I already knew like anything that I do is on shaky ground, so I wasn't surprised. It was just really disappointing, I think, because I've also been at this company for a very long time. I've been there for 10 years. That's crazy. That's a very long time. I was there before I met Brandon. That's how long. Yeah. So it's just really sad. And the whole culture had changed because there was a change in, you know how it is. There's change in like management and the leadership of the company, and they have different ideas and different visions for what the company is going to be doing. And, you know, I was one of those people that was like, I understand it's a business, and you know, what if you need me to change or you need me to do things in a new way, like I'm willing to learn. I'm flexible with that. But for whatever reason, I don't know how the decisions were made, but they're not really going to look at a case-by-case basis or whatever. So I just got caught in the crossfires this time. So yeah. So it's definitely weird because I have never not had a job. I've always had a job since I was legally, also maybe a little bit before I was legally allowed to work. And there's been times where I've had multiple jobs. Like I've had 2 or 3 jobs while I was in school. Like I've always had employment. So it's really weird for me to not have a job. And Brandon's like, this is your job. You still have a job. And it's hard for me to connect. I think both of us have had this problem. When people ask what we do, we always said our day jobs. We never talked about Tealfish Studio. Yeah. So it's hard for us to kind of, I don't know. It's like maybe the imposter syndrome or something.
I think it's probably a little bit of that, and just because we just spend so much time doing the day job thing where it's just like, that's what you feel like you just basically spend your whole time doing.
Yeah, it's like your primary thing.
Yeah.
So it's just very odd to not have a job. I don't think it fully hit me yet. Like it has. So like the first day I was completely in denial. And then I think it was day 2 or 3 when they sent me like the paperwork that you need for what happens to your benefits and what happens to this and what to expect next and all of that. And when I was reading through that, I broke down and started sobbing in the middle of it because that's when it finally like hit me. I'm not going back. That's it. Like it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And it's just weird because there's people that I really care about, and they're like a little mini family. Like they drive you crazy, but you love them. So it's just strange to not have the daily interaction with like my coworkers and things like that. Also, like the first couple weeks, I just kind of put my head down and I just worked on putting up a portfolio website and getting my resume ready and doing all of that stuff. And I was tunnel vision into doing that. I was up all night. I was sleeping maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
I was like, I don't know how you do that.
I was just like, go, 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 go. Like, gotta get ready. And I'm not really sure why I did that.
It's probably because you didn't want to take a break, because as soon as you take a break, you're just going to be flooded with everything that actually went on.
Yeah. It's a big distraction. I wanted to be prepared so that I could apply for other positions and just be over prepared and be like, here's my portfolio, here's a website that I just built, I just made it after getting laid off, here's my resume, here's this, here's that. But then I'm like, why am I doing this? Because the plan is to try to do the Tealfish Studio stuff and see how that goes first before applying to other jobs, I guess. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I just apply anyway for other positions and just see if I get something great, or if I just 100% go in on the Tealfish Studio stuff.
Like I was saying, like, I feel like this is our only shot, so I think we got to take it.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have made this decision if on our own if it came down to it. Like,
definitely
we wouldn't
not.
be like, okay, I think we could just, one of us can quit their job now. And like, that would not come across like our conversation, like, ever.
No.
Like, we would like hypothetically talk about it, just like in terms of like the amount of things we could do, but we wouldn't actually like go through with it.
Yeah.
So.
And now we've been forced into that position.
Yeah. So I think we just have to take the hand we're dealt and just try to make the most of it and kind of see what happens.
Yeah. I'm just not the type of person who's good at just see what happens. I love having a plan. And the thing with having your own business and the type of business that we have, where we're reliant on getting commissions or, you know, trying to make like our content something that people want to purchase or watch and things like that, it's scary. It's not something that you can plan for. You don't know what's going to hit well. You don't know what's going to flop. You don't know what jobs people need. So if anybody knows about any commissions that people want, commissions are open right now. So yeah, it's just very scary. But I do think, like you said, it's our shot. It's something that we have been talking about for a good while.
Yeah.
Especially like during the pandemic, everybody's kind of been reprioritizing what they want to do with their lives. And it's just, like you said, we would have never come to this on our own. Yeah. So it's just strange. It's strange. So I'm a little scared, but a little excited. So what does that mean? I guess you're going to see a lot more of me. I'm going to be streaming more during the day because I got nothing else going on. I'm going to start making new things for our Etsy shop. I don't know if we're going to make a secondary shop. We were thinking about maybe splitting it.
I don't know.
Depending, like based off of like the type of things that I'm making for the shops, but we're not sure about that yet. But I'm going to be working on a lot of that stuff. I don't know. Now I'm available to do all of the full-time editing for all of our videos. So hopefully our video content can get a little bit better because we have a little bit more time to dedicate to some of it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we have like a full weekend planned of like just solid like shooting of content.
Yeah, because now we have to figure out the best way to
make the most of when you are free and I am busy.
Yeah. Well, also like when we're able to be together to shoot content and stuff. So it is going to be an adjustment. Today is the first day I haven't been working on the portfolio. Like I finally finished my portfolio and my website and resume and all of that. So this was day one. And
how did your day one go?
I don't know. I guess it was okay. I spent the morning taking a marketing class.
That's much needed. We didn't really ever get any kind of marketing education in like the graphic design like program at all. Like, they didn't really go into like any of the business aspects either, because they probably just figured you're looking to get hired somewhere.
Yeah.
They didn't really go into like
The
freelancing or
entrepreneurial
anything like that, or like
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Like we kind of learned as we went with like how to do our commissions and contracts and all of that kind of stuff. But I think we would benefit from a little bit more knowledge. So I'm taking advantage of some classes that are offered for our career transition. Just trying to like learn more things that hopefully will help us be a little bit more successful in what we do. Like, we know that there's things that we need to change. We just sometimes don't know exactly what they are. And it's hard to critique our work because we're too close to it.
Yeah.
So we're working on that. So, I mean, I'm going to try to do some educational stuff. And I streamed today. That was fun. It was the first time I've streamed in quite some time, I think. So I'll be doing that more. And I'm going to do some editing. And I'm feeling like it's not going to be much different than what I used to do for my job day to day. It's just going to be, I'm working on Tealfish Studio stuff instead of stuff for my old company. So that's kind of exciting. I just hope that we could see some kind of growth or some kind of difference, because then it'll make me feel like I'm on the right track, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. That's kind of the rundown of what happened there. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. One of the things that I did want to work on now that I have the time to do it is I think I'm really well prepared for dealing with a layoff, even though I've never really like had a full layoff where I wasn't working. And I'm also kind of in a kind of good position because we do have Tealfish Studio, so it gives me something to kind of focus on. But I wanted to do kind of a little mini series of what happened with my layoff, what you should do in case you ever find yourself in that position, things like tips that you should look into. And if you still have a job, just tips for still having a backup plan. Because if I didn't do some of the things that I did, I would probably be on the floor crying right now to prepare myself. So I think that'll hopefully be helpful, because I feel like everybody is going through layoffs right now. It's just
there's
insane.
Just a lot, just through all different types of businesses, and it doesn't matter what your profession is. It's just everyone, it feels like.
The job market's just a little nuts right now. So if my experience could maybe help somebody else, I think it would be nice to kind of put something together and say, hey, here's what I did, especially for somebody in the creative field, because then I can talk about how to put your portfolio together and how to do this and how to do that. And maybe that would be helpful. So I think that's something that I want to work on with some of my time as well. And go from there.
I'm sure that will be very helpful when it's completed. Yeah, it's kind of scary.
It's a little nuts.
But yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens and try to give it everything we got and try to make the most of it.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I'm not going to just put on a brave face and say that I'm totally fine. There are absolutely days where I'm sitting at my desk just sobbing, and I'll be fine one minute and then the next minute I'm just like, meh. Because you put so much of your self-worth in your job. So even though I know it's nothing personal, it feels personal. What was that?
I don't know. I thought it was a car, maybe.
That was weird.
It was weird.
I thought it was like aliens coming down.
Oh my god. Guys, we got aliens.
Do, 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 do. Sorry, totally. That just sounded crazy.
Yeah,
anyway.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, just so much of your self-worth is sometimes wrapped up in what you do and what your job is. So it can make you feel kind of crappy, but I think I just want to focus on trying to make something out of this, and I don't know, just making the best. I don't want to wallow in self-pity and like be sad because there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. The best thing you can do is just try to move forward and try to do something positive with your time. So, on that note, if anybody needs any designs or commissions, any art, please head to tealfishstudio.com and check out our work. And if you're interested, please hit us up for some commissions. Commissions are open right now.
Yeah, lots of free time.
Lots of free time.
Oh man.
So yeah, that was my topic.
Yep.
A lot of our topics today really kind of tie in with this because it's just about business, and business is doing
Business stuff.
Doing business stuff.
Yeah.
It's business time.
It's always business time. Huh?
Always business time.
Never ends. Okay. So next up, we have $44 billion to kill a bird.
So sad.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research on the Twitter icon, and fun fact, Twitter's icon actually has a name. It was called Larry. Larry the bird.
So cute.
So their logo had several iterations over the years before landing on its final form in 2012. The final logo was designed by, I hope I get these names right, Martin Grasser, Todd Woodbury, and Angie Che. The team was responsible for the creation of this modern graphic. The design started as a sketch on paper. One of the variations the team was drawn to was one where the bird's belly was rounded. This gave the bird the appearance of soaring. They were also drawn to the simplicity of the design. The underlying bones of the bird logo were constructed from 15 overlapping circles. The team spent time working on finding the perfect balance of all the elements, and the final design represents the creativity of a group rather than having a signature style of an individual, since it's all constructed on a geometric system. Sadly, this is the last year that this logo will see any official use. We're a little late on this topic, but as of July 22nd, 2023, Larry the Bird is no longer Twitter's logo.
Sad. Oh, so sad.
It is very sad. The amount of work that goes into constructing a logo, a lot of people don't understand how many revisions like that type of design can go through.
Yeah.
And then once you have something made and it's that iconic and someone just is like,
nah, we don't
want this anymore. It just seems unfathomable, really.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It just does not seem like a smart idea. Like the brand recognition alone, people would pay a ton of money for. It's insane to me that the decision was made to get rid of the Twitter logo. I don't understand it at all. Especially for like the people that made it. They were probably so proud.
Yeah.
So proud of what they built. And then just for no reason, it's like, it's gone now.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of the recognizability, or I don't know if that's the word, but
sounds right.
It's just, I don't think there's many logos that top that in terms of just what people can immediately point out, like that's Twitter.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's like akin to like the Nike swoosh.
Yeah, or like Pepsi or something like one of those giant brands that everyone across the world knows.
Yeah. It's just sad.
Yeah. And I think something that I wasn't aware of is I thought it was one person, but it was actually a team that worked on it together.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. That's pretty cool.
And I do like the fact that they based it around something that took all personal input away. So it didn't, like they said, they didn't really have a certain style to it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a nice, clean, modern logo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I don't know. Just from a designer perspective, it just kind of hurts my heart a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, even for us, there's been times where we were asked to do commissions and they fell through for one reason or another. And we worked so hard on the logo, and we're like, wow, this is like really, actually really good. This will really help their brand.
Yeah.
And it just falls through, and it just feels like such a waste. Just from a designer perspective, it's just, you see something like that and it's just gone forever.
Yeah.
And you can tell how iconic it was, because even now it's X or whatever. I don't even know what people are calling it.
People still call it Twitter.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. But like, what are you supposed to call it? I just X'd. I just X'd something.
I think they changed it to just posted.
Oh.
Or I posted this now. It's so generic.
Yeah.
They like tweeting tweets and tweeted and retweets, like all that stuff.
Subtweets. It's in songs. It's just ingrained in so much culture now, and it's gone.
It's being replaced.
It's so weird. It's so weird. We haven't really been on the platform in a while, though.
No, and yeah, definitely not on it much anymore. Moving on.
Moving on.
If you're in the Twitch chat, if you have a question or you want to share a thought on a topic that we have going on, we have a channel point redemption. It costs 15 koi coins. So this will highlight any messages in the chat that you want us to respond to or address during the live stream. So be sure to redeem those points.
Yes. That way it's just easier for us to see them.
Yeah.
As we go through our topics here.
Also gives us a way to interact with you.
Yeah.
All right. So, as some of you may know, there's been a lot of talk about reaction content lately.
Yes.
And maybe it's going to be the next bubble to burst. I guess time will tell. But reaction content is pretty much impossible to avoid, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. There's always been a gray line when it comes to reaction-based content. The most popular argument that people use is fair use. And a lot of times people don't understand what that really means.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of research, and this is kind of what I was able to find out about fair use. So fair use is actually a legal doctrine that promotes freedom of expression by permitting the unlicensed use of copyrighted, protected works in certain circumstances. Now, even the way they outline it, it's not 100% foolproof, but if you base your reaction content on these pillars, you stand a higher chance of winning your case in court if it goes there. And that's usually where these types of things end up. So the first one is that the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes. So the courts tend to find that nonprofit educational and non-commercial use is more leaning to the fair usage.
Sorry.
This doesn't mean that all nonprofit uses are fair use and all commercial uses are not fair. So like I was saying, is still that gray area in these, but this definitely helps kind of ensure that you're leaning the right way. The courts will also factor in transformative uses. Something that's transformative adds something new with further purpose or different character and does not substitute for the original use of the work. And then the next pillar is the nature of the copyrighted work. So using material from primarily factual works, technical articles, or news items is more likely to be fair use than using something purely fictional, something imaginative like a novel, movie, or song. Third one is the amount and sustainability of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. So borrowing small bits of material from an original work is more likely to be considered fair use than borrowing large portions. But if what's borrowed is considered the heart of the work, sometimes even small sampling may weigh against fair use. And then the fourth one is the effects of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. The impact the unlicensed use has on the current market for the original work, for example, by displacing sales of the original and or whether the use could cause substantial harm if it were to become widespread. So I feel like, at least in terms of the reaction content that we've seen that's actually really popular on some of the platforms, I don't really feel would hold up in court.
Yeah, if somebody actually... what do they do? Sue? I don't know what they do.
Well, yeah, I think it's like a lawsuit against them or something like that. I don't know. I've never been involved, but that's what I would imagine.
Yeah.
And then they sue them. They sue them for damages and lost monetized.
Because if it's supposed to be like an educational thing, I really don't think anything I've seen. I mean, okay, there are a couple things that I could think of that the reaction content could be seen as educational, but most of the time it's not. It's just my take on whatever.
Yeah, and they're not really adding anything of value. Like, some of them we've seen are literally just stating what they saw. Like, that's not transformative.
Yeah.
Or it's not offering any educational,
or they're just, finding something humorous or like laughing about it or whatever. And just, it's like sitting with somebody, like a friend, and they're just like making comments.
Yeah.
It's not something that falls under this fair use umbrella from what I can gather. The ones that I'm thinking of that maybe would fall under this would be something like the body language experts, if they're analyzing a court case or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like that kind of a thing.
And plus, we just saw, I don't know who it was, but we were watching some musical breakdown of Willy Wonka. Was it like, is it the theme song or?
It's the, what is that called?
I don't know what's.
Pure Imagination.
Okay, yeah, it was like a breakdown of that, and they really went into the different chords and notes and why it was giving like these types of feelings and
how the structure of the song just works really well, and that kind of content. I think
that definitely would probably hold up.
That makes sense to me, but a lot of the stuff is just watching a TV show together and laughing about it. I know that there's been some requests for us to do React content, and this is why we wouldn't. I don't think that there was anything that we would offer that would be transformative.
Yeah. The other thing that would make it a much better thing would be to actually partner up with the people that are making the original content.
Yeah.
And, get an agreement, whether it's you want to feature them on your channel or if you want to, some people will just outright pay to use their content, and as long as you get agreement from the original creator, I feel like that is totally fine.
I think a lot of it is just like a money grab, though, because it's easy content that people like. I can kind of see another side of it, because I was watching one creator that does React content, but they kind of almost do it as like in a news type of format of, oh, this happened and I'm going to talk about this and this, like up to date, whatever things. And they were saying that with their content, that people are coming to watch that specific creator because they want to see what that creator's reaction is. They're not necessarily interested in the content itself. They're just interested in the reaction.
Yeah.
I don't know where that lies. I don't know how that would fit into this, if it would at all. But that is what the draw is. They're just interested in what this creator's reaction is going to be, I guess. Yeah. So, I don't know. But it does seem to be in the headlines a lot more.
Plus, it just seems to be what everyone is doing right now.
Yeah.
Because it is so easy to just crank out, because you're just, some of them, like I was saying, you just watch and just kind of comment along the way, and you don't really offer a whole lot of insight or educational insight or anything like that.
Yeah. Hawkins in the Twitch chat says, I've been watching a guy who is a professional photographer. For example, he watched Reservoir Dogs and was breaking down the way the film was shot. and lit and how that influences the scene. See, like
Yeah.
that I think is
that's the right way.
Yeah, that's the right way to address it. Like for us, if we were to do some sort of React content, I think it would have to be design related. I mean, it would have to be something that we could add, I don't know, explaining like why this is good design, why this is bad design, something that you have expertise in, I think is, or even music stuff, something that you have some sort of knowledge base in that you can offer something to the audience more than just laughing along with a funny scene or something like that, you know?
Totally agree.
So I don't know. It's interesting. A lot of people, their whole channel is React content. So it just, I don't know.
But I feel like it's coming. The day is coming where somebody's going to get some rude awakening.
Maybe, but maybe not. I don't know.
Like it, especially with networks losing money.
Oh, you like know, you might be onto something there.
They're probably gonna start looking because that's revenue that's not in their pocket.
I do see a lot of that where a lot of the things that are being reacted to are actually like television programs.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily another creator. Sometimes it is like you're just pulling content from another creator.
Sometimes it's creators, sometimes it's movies, TV. It's basically any form of media.
Yeah. So it can get very gray as you were saying.
Yeah.
One of the things that that I have been watching, if you are familiar with JJJacksfilms.
Oh yeah.
He is an OG YouTuber. And he was very vocal about another creator, I guess, is it Sssniperwolf? Is that how you say the name? And she does React content, but her React content is, it's just basically repeating what she sees on screen. And she, like it doesn't really offer up anything. So what he started doing is he made I think he's on Twitch. He does. Yeah, he's on Twitch because I did go to one of his bingo streams. So he created a new YouTube channel, JJJacksfilms. Hilarious. And he, on that channel, he solely is reacting to her content, reacting to other people's content. And he does it in a way that is transformative because what he's educating people on is what is fair use, what's not fair use, what's freebooting. He'll point out creators. He'll point out if the people she's reacting to are actual creators that are not being credited, and he'll make sure to try to credit them. And then he'll also point out if she's reacting to somebody that pulled content from somebody else. So it's a freeboot of a freeboot. So freebooting is basically just pulling. Yeah,
it's basically somebody else stole the content and then you're just using it from their account.
Yeah, so that's been interesting, and I think he's been kind of heading the charge in a way on making more awareness around this whole thing.
I think there's just a lot more awareness in general that's starting to form around this, and I think that's good because I feel like if you want to make React content, you should definitely try to hit these marks in order to make it something that's actually new and somewhat educational, if not.
Yeah. You know. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Like you said, there might be something like the DMCA coming.
Yeah. I mean, if the music labels did it, I don't see why the TV networks wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like they already seen like what could be done.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be as simple as if they start doing the copyright claim ID system or whatever, where it starts to recognize like these are what the audio tracks are from these shows, and it's like.
So, that just reminded me. I was gonna say something. I would argue that this was sort of transformative. Somebody kind of made a documentary type of video about something, and they were showing clips. But in the clips, the voices were clearly altered. They were like pitched up or pitched down. And I'm wondering if it's because
I mean, that's probably
they're trying to dodge that.
They
but it was very obvious that the voices were pitched. So I was like,
That's what they used to do for songs too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that works anymore. I mean, eventually I think they just know.
It'll catch up with the technology or whatever.
I mean, if it hasn't already.
Yeah.
who knows what YouTube is doing or all these other platforms are doing.
Yeah. Sometimes I think it might be fun to do React content, but it would have to be done in the right way.
Yeah.
Or like what we were thinking to do is if we do some kind of like React content, it'll be kind of reacting to our own content.
Yeah, which we
keep it safe.
Which we actually might work on something like that this weekend. So
yeah, be
on the lookout.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got a lot of plans this weekend. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get through them all, but
probably not. It's a very
This is jam packed.
Yeah, very ambitious.
But at least we'll see what we can get through and what's like reasonable and.
Yes.
But should get us heading in the right direction. Hopefully.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
It's my first working weekend as the full Tealfish Studio employee. Full-time boss.
Full-time.
Should I go through the next topic?
Yeah.
This one...
This closing actually just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I didn't even... I don't remember how I've heard of it. I think I was just searching for things to talk about on the podcast, and then I just stumbled upon it.
I think we got emails about this too, didn't we?
I don't remember.
I think we got an email from Adobe about it.
I would hope so, but I don't know for sure. I don't remember.
So, Adobe is discontinuing the Creative Cloud sync files. So, Adobe announced that they're making changes to Creative Cloud, and if you're a personal user, sync files are being discontinued starting February 1st of 2024. New cloud users that sign up after October 1st of this year will not have access to it at all. And then business teams or enterprise teams are going to have theirs canceled or disabled as of October of 2024. So Adobe Creative Cloud is if you have the suite of programs for Adobe. So a lot of the design programs, actually most of the design programs we use are through that. So Illustrator, Photoshop, Lightroom, InDesign for page layouts and all of that stuff. Premiere, After Effects, all of the design software. What you can do right now is you have something called sync files. So when you're creating whatever project files on your computer, there's a folder on your computer where they're stored locally, but they sync to your cloud, the Adobe cloud. So any changes that you make or updates that you make within that folder will automatically sync to the cloud and vice versa. So it's really good if you're collaborating with like other people and they're working on their computer and they need to send you a file. They'll just drop it into the Creative Cloud folder and then it'll just pop up in that folder on your desktop and then you can work locally. And it just makes it really easy to get files back and forth and to work on your computer so that it's not super laggy and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand why this is going away. It's called Creative Cloud. Like, that's one of the best features of having Creative Cloud. I don't understand the thought process behind it. They charge so much money for this service, and now they're taking away one of, like, the really nice features of it.
And I can guarantee we won't see a price drop.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm pretty disappointed. Yeah. The thing with Adobe is you're kind of trapped in their ecosystem as a designer.
Yeah, and they know it.
They do know it. I mean, I love Adobe, don't get me wrong. I love the programs. I love the flexibility. I love everything that it can do, but it's just so much. It's so much money, and then if they're taking away like major features like this, that's really frustrating. You used to be able to buy the program
outright, yeah,
and just own it, and you could upgrade as you wanted to for like the next whatever the next release was or whatever. But now it is nice that everything is constantly up to date, and then you even have the options to try their beta programs as they're working through new features and stuff. But it's just the subscription model. I hate it. And it's just, I'm just really frustrated with the whole thing. So that sucks. They basically said, use a third party if you want.
Yeah, let's.
Which is ridiculous. I don't even understand that. Like, who's making these decisions?
I don't know.
Just don't get it. And then you're still able to use like the Adobe libraries, which is what we do anyway. So there's at least that. But now I'm worried about what other features are they going to start taking away. But just the overall theme for today is, what the hell are these companies doing? I don't get it. Like,
They're just trying to get more money in their pocket.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't make sense. It's not user friendly. It's not, I don't know.
It would be one thing if they're like, okay, we're going to be discontinuing the cloud sync. So you won't have this storage anymore. So we're going to actually, credit you back this money, or we're dropping the price of your renewals or something to like offset it, because clearly we're not getting the full product. Like,
yeah.
It's so frustrating. But the other nice thing about the cloud syncing is that it's also a backup too. So
Yeah.
if something happens to your desktop or your hard drive or something, you would always have your working files still available.
Yeah, that was always like a nice thing.
Yeah,
If like something happened and a file got corrupt,
Yeah.
I could go to the cloud or vice versa.
Yeah, it's basically like a OneDrive for people that are familiar with that, except for like design files.
Yeah. So that sucks. So I'm disappointed, and I guess that's all I gotta say about that. I just don't understand these business decisions. Like, these detached, out of touch people just clearly don't know what the audience wants.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And on that note, on to the next one. The podcast site known as Stitcher is also gone.
Goodbye. As of a couple days ago.
Yeah, so back in 2020, SiriusXM bought Stitcher for $325 million. As of August 29th, 2023, the Stitcher apps and web listening will be shut down. SiriusXM will be incorporating podcasts into its subscription business. Subscribers can listen to podcasts within the SiriusXM app. So we will be changing the outro to the podcast.
Because we are no longer on Stitcher.
No more Stitcher, and we are not going to be on SiriusXM.
Absolutely not.
So I don't think we even would have the option to. I think it's like only like big produced like podcasts. I was trying to look into like what's actually on there, but it's like seems like celebrity based podcasts, which makes sense because it's SiriusXM.
It just gets really frustrating when like these big companies buy out all of these like smaller companies that are doing some awesome stuff.
But
and then
the thing is they want to sell because they want the money.
Yeah, they want the money, but it just destroys it for the consumer. We're the ones losing.
I know, but the people that make these platforms are doing it sometimes to build it and then sell it for extreme profit.
Yeah. It's just
they're not in it for the long term. They're in for the short gains.
I don't like it.
But yeah, so one less podcast place for us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I used to, like, even before we even started our podcast, I would listen to a lot of things on Stitcher.
Yeah.
Like, it just used to be a place I used to go. Like, I wouldn't even go to, like, Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. I'd just go online and just listen there. Sad.
It's a shame.
But that's also the kind of a theme, is just things on the internet aren't permanent.
You used to think that they were.
They just slowly fade away after time.
I just feel like everything's turning into MySpace now.
Yeah, that was like the first major thing that we saw like disappear.
Yeah.
And
it's been a while since we've had like these major
things just
kind of fade into non-existence.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing, is like I don't know if people are familiar with DP Review, but it's like a photography review site, and it had a community forum on there. And I guess it was part of Amazon, and they were going to close it down, and all that information was just going to be gone. And there was
a lot of information on there too.
Probably over a decade worth of reviews and enthusiast posts on there. It's just would have been so much information that would have been just completely wiped from the internet in like a blink of an eye. But luckily somebody bought it and it's still online. I've actually used that site a lot throughout the years, and that would have just been absolutely horrible if it just was gone.
Yeah. I think that people don't realize the internet is not just the internet. It's our history.
Yeah.
We used to have books and written books and scribes and all that other stuff, and we don't have, I mean, we do still have books, but a lot of our written history is online now.
Yeah, lots of just information that.
So we just, I don't know, if something happens where all of that information, all that knowledge is just gone.
Yeah.
Well.
But that's why people try to do like the Internet Archive thing, but the internet's just so big. I think that's about it for the week, huh?
I think so.
Yeah, that's.
This was a jam-packed episode.
Yeah.
Of interesting grievances. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that this will be a good change for us, and just focus on the positive, try to improve our health and our mental health, and just, I don't know, keep our eye on the prize, man. I'm so stressed out.
Don't be stressed out.
So stressed out.
You just have to just relax a little. Just a little.
Okay, I'll try.
Otherwise, you're just going to be just stressed out for like
eternity.
Yeah. Infinite amount of time.
You'd think I'd be a little bit more relaxed, but I'm not. I'm just,
yeah.
I can't stop. I'm just like go constantly. I do feel like I'm trying to take care of myself a little bit better. Like today I was listening to the marketing course while I was on the elliptical machine.
Nice.
So I'm like double duty.
Yeah, I gotta start working out too.
Double duty.
I'm beat when I get out of work.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to help our energy levels, but we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Always.
So this will be an interesting journey for me. We'll see what happens. Then maybe I'll be able to bring you with me.
I mean, that would be amazing. But I don't know. We'll see where we get.
One step at a time. One step at a time.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap for today.
Yeah. So thanks for hanging out with us, and we always appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you are watching on YouTube, you can always listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. That's so weird to say. If you're listening, you can always watch us on YouTube at Tealfish Studio. Every Friday, you can watch us live over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Tealfish Studio.
Yes. And until next time, may your artistry always be unbounded.
Bye.